we're the children of Israel. Have you ever heard that before?
Yeah, I think I heard it.
Okay. Here's what we up here to teach them. That black people, Hispanic people, and Native American people, they are the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They are the seed of David, and they come from the lineage of the 12 tribes of Israel. That's what we are here to teach, right? But what we have been taught is that we are just Negroes. You heard that before, right?
Yeah.
You've heard that we're just African Americans, right? So, do you really believe that?
Not really.
Not really? Okay.
Yeah.
Who do you think called us those names?
Say it, bro.
Hey, go ahead and say it. Hey, the so-called white man called us those names.
Right.
So, like, think about your last name. You don't have to say it if you don't want to, right? Think about your last name. Do you have the same last name as another so-called white man? Have you ever heard a white man with the last name that you have before?
Yeah.
You have, right? Why do you think that is, Pete?
That's where it stems from, I guess, right?
That's right. So check this out. We're going to read something real quick.
Hey, read this for me if you can see that. About the shot.
How long?
Yes, sir.
All right.
So this right here, this is an article of an actual slave who was alive around the 1930s, right? Who did an interview with a man. So this is called, and these interviews, they were called slave narrative projects, right?
Right.
So they had actual slaves who did these interviews. You have over like 2,300 of them. But this is one of the things that was said in this article.
Right? She and her family were owned by Mr. and Mrs. Parker Hurd. In those days, slaves carried the surname of their master.
Of their who?
Of their master.
So they had the surname of their master because it shows ownership. You have things at home, a lot of times you might put a label with your name on it, right? Especially if you take it out in public and you want, and you have the same thing as everybody else. You want everybody to know, hey, this one, you play baseball?
I play basketball and ran track.
Basketball and ran track. Did you not have your name on some of your items?
Yeah.
Because all y'all had the same items, right?
Right.
Same clothes,
Yeah.
same
Backpack
shoes.
had my name on it.
The
Yeah.
backpack had your name on it.
Yeah.
Same thing that so-called white man did here. Right? He put his name on it. Right? Read.
All right. This accounted for all slaves having the same name, whether they were kin or not.
Whether they were kin or not, you had to have the last name of your master, right? Of the slave owner.
Right.
And we got beat down so bad in slavery, we didn't change our names back to our original names because we got done so bad we didn't even know who we were anymore, right? If they say you couldn't read and write for so many years, you're gonna forget your history. You're not gonna know your historical records, right? They're not gonna teach it to you, or they're not gonna show you who you are. What happened was we got erased from who we are. Give me that in Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 4, right? Baba Kashaf. So after we got renamed, right, we got retaught as well. See, we had the Bible before we went into slavery. But when they told us we couldn't read and write, they retaught us the Bible. They retaught us their way of looking at the Bible, right? Which is now why they say God loves everybody. They say Jesus is white, but really in the Bible, he's described as being a so-called black man who looks like you. So if you grew your hair out like an afro, you look like Jesus Christ, right? That's how Jesus Christ looked like according to the Bible, right? But read this real quick.
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 17 and verse 4. And thou, even thyself.
So this is a prophecy right here that the Lord told Jeremiah the prophet. Read.
And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee.
He said what?
And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee.
He said that Jeremiah, even you're going to discontinue from the heritage that I gave you. So the things that we do, according to the Bible, for instance, not eating pork, not celebrating pagan holidays, not eating shrimp, crab, and lobster. Though that is our heritage that the Lord gave us, because who did he give it to? He gave it to the Israelites, right? Give me that in Sirach, chapter 17, verse number 11, Baba Kashaf. Can you read it?
All right. And I will call thee to serve thine enemies.
Thine who?
Thine enemies.
Because of our disobedience, us being God's chosen people, he said, because you're not listening to me, Because I made you kings and gods and rulers on the earth.
That's right.
Right? Because you're over everybody right now, and you're still not listening to me. I blessed you among all the people of the earth. Right? Therefore, I'm gonna send you enemies, and I'm gonna put you right back on the bottom. Right? Read.
Right. And I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in the land which thou knewest not. For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever.
So Lord, that's what happened, King. That's why black people go through what they're going through to this day. Because we kindled a fire in the Lord's anger.
Pissed them off.
We pissed them off, like the brother said. We made them furious, you know. So we got to figure out, how do we make the Lord look at us and so what? Yeah, how do we make the Lord look at us in a better light, you know? How do we do that, King? How do you say we do it? If we disobeyed him, what do we have to do?
Follow right behind, I guess, what the Bible pretty much leads you to try to do.
That's right, that's right.
Yeah.
And how can we do that if we don't know who we are?
Right.
See that?
Yeah.
So give me that real quick.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 17, verse 11. Besides this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for an inheritance.
So the Lord, he gave us the law of life for inheritance, right? So all the things that I was naming earlier, plus more, those were the ways of our people given to us by the Most High God, right?
Right.
See what I'm saying? So, you read?
He made an everlasting covenant with them and showed them his judgment.
He made an everlasting covenant with us. Give me that in 2 Samuel chapter 7, verse number 23. See, the Lord, he made an everlasting covenant with some certain group of people. Do you know who those people were? Okay, you've heard of the new covenant, right?
New covenant?
Yes, sir. The new covenant and the old covenant.
Yeah, I've heard of it, yeah.
All right. So the old covenant was for the Israelites. The new covenant as well, but let me show you who he made a covenant with. He made a covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? All the way down to our forefather David. But this is the covenant he made with David too.
23.
Yes, sir.
The book of 2 Samuel, chapter 7, verse 23. And what nation in the earth is like thy people, even like Israel?
Even like who?
Even like Israel.
So this after Nathan, the prophet, came to talk to David. He said, the Lord gonna bless you, and he's gonna allow you to inherit everlasting life, you and your people, right? So this is what David is saying to the Most High. Read.
And what nation in the earth is like thy people, even like Israel?
Even like who?
Even like Israel.
Even like Israel.
Whom God went to redeem a people to himself, and to make him a name, and to do for you great things and terrible for thy land before thy people, which thou redeemest to thee from Egypt.
From where?
From Egypt.
So it's contrary to popular belief, we are the people that came out of Egypt with Moses.
Right.
We're the same exact people. Like I always say, we were looking at the back of Moses' head as he was leading us through the waters, right?
Right.
We actually saw him. So if we the same people as Moses, what color you think Moses was?
Probably the same color.
Same color,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What color was his auntie and his uncles?
Probably the same color.
Same color,
Yeah.
right? Jesus Christ, he was a black man, right? His cousin was John the Baptist. Thank you. His cousin was John the Baptist. What color do you think John was? If Jesus was black, same color, right? Now we're not saying that color matters, right? We don't judge a man by the color of his skin, but we know according to the Bible is your lineage and who you come from,
That's right.
what seed you're from. But you can pinpoint. If I ask you to point out an Asian man, you can probably do it right now.
Right.
See what I'm saying? If I say, hey, point out a black man out here, you can do it, right?
Right.
But we understand that through certain skin tones, you can kind of tell which nations people come from. If that makes sense. But let's get that.
Verse 24. But thou hast confirmed to thyself thy people Israel to be a people unto thee forever.
For how long?
Forever.
So he would be a people. We would be a people to the Lord forever. But let me show you what happened, King. Show you what happened.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass that thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So the Lord said we don't listen to him, right?
To observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses,
All these what?
all these curses
Uh-huh.
shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So the Lord said if we don't listen to him, all of the curses that I'm gonna name, they're gonna come upon you and overtake you. Even some that's not even written in the book. They're gonna come upon you and pursue you and destroy us as a people, right? And there'd be no way we can get away from these curses. How can you get away from the power of the Most High? Right. If the Lord say, I want you to be blessed, you can't get away from that.
Right.
If you say you're gonna be cursed, there's no running from it. You understand? There's nothing we can do. All we can do is be obedient. This is how to show you the power of the Most High. We have no control, right? Read what you got, verse 16.
Verse 16. Cursed shall thou be in the city.
So the Lord said, in every city you go to, right, you're gonna be cursed, right? You're gonna live in the poorest parts of the city, right? You're gonna be cursed in every city that you walk in. That's what the Lord told us for not keeping his commandments. Sister, come hear this real quick.
I ain't one. I promise you I'm not.
Oh, hey, well, sister, guess what? If it's for you, it's for you.
You're my friend, I promise you. You're here all night. I'm not going.
You gotta return to the Lord, right? Read.
Cursed shall thou be in the city,
Don't walk in darkness, sister. Read.
and cursed shall thou be in the field.
The Lord said, cursed shall you be in the field. We got cursed in the field, right?
Right.
When we were in slavery, we had to pick sugar cane, cotton, right, tobacco, right? We had to pick all of these different things. Now, do you think we got paid for that, brother?
No.
Who do you think reaped the benefits off of that?
I guess, is it slave?
Hey, let's go ahead and make it plain, bro. Hey, it's cool in 2025, brother. We letting you know it's okay to say that the so-called white man did that thing.
That's right.
We used to do the same thing. We were scared to say that because that was the stigma that they had on our people, that we cannot say anything that the so-called white man had done, right? That's what they taught us in slavery, right? Hey, I'm beating your back end. I'm raping your foremothers, but you better not say the Lord gonna save us one day. You better not say that I did these things to you. You better pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. You better build your own communities. Even though I destroyed them, you still better not say anything about it. Right? This is why when you tell a so-called white man that they destroyed our people, or you bring up slavery, they say first thing they try to do is cop out. They say, well, all people were in slavery, right? They say, what's another thing they say, King?
We're not like that anymore.
We're not like that anymore. Though the slavery time is old, right?
Yeah.
Though, that was a long time ago. Don't talk
They still
about it.
reaping the benefits.
Because when somebody wants to talk about something, of course, like, anyway, they try to divert the conversation. So because they know that there's shame behind what they have done. And the scriptures speak about that too. The Lord said shame will cover them, right? Because all praises to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shah, the Lord has put pictures, videos, right? Autobiographies of actual slaves. Brother, if we didn't have these things before A.I, they would have said all of this stuff that we teaching out here is A.I, right? They would have said slavery was A.I, right? They just came up with that in the computer. We don't know what these people are talking about, right?
Right.
Everybody was slaves. But, yes,
Speaking of.
yes, sir.
Is the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee.
Hey, and what's going on, King?
What's going on? All right.
Yes, sir. The Lord said, for the violence of thy brother Jacob, the context here is talking about a man named Esau, right? And his nation of people. Esau, according to the Bible, is the so-called white man. You don't see the word Caucasian in the Bible, right? You don't see European in the Bible, right? But you see the word Esau. So when it's talking about what it's talking about in this certain context right here, it says what?
For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee.
So the Lord said, brother, because of the violence against their brother Jacob, which is us, shame will cover them. This is why if you bring it up, they get very shameful in what they have done to our people, because they know they did the work of the devil. Right? Read.
And thou shalt be cut off forever.
For how long?
Forever.
So the Lord said, this is the judgment that's going to come to them. This is why when we come out here, we teach our people to wake up and separate from them and keep God's commandments. And we tell them their judgment, because of the things they have done to our people, their country is going to be destroyed. Right. They're going to be in famine. They're going to be peasants on the earth again. The Lord going to bring America down to ashes and dust. You see that? That's the judgment that's coming. That's why you hear wars talking about right now, World War III, nuclear missiles, right? That's why you see all these things in the Bible, how the Lord gonna come back and destroy this earth and save his people.
Right.
And that's the reason why, because they have destroyed the Lord's people, right? Yes, sir. Bring it up.
Like the brother said, this country gonna go down, and they think that by them going to vote that they put Trump in office, not knowing that it's all done by the Most High. He used them as pawns to play his game. He used them to do his will. This country went down so far and quick. Before 1 year up with Trump, this second time, see how fast we went down? That's because the Most High used them to do his bid, do his will. They think, okay, we gonna outvote them. No, that's the Most High playing his hand of cards only the way he can play it, brother.
Right.
I'm gonna show y'all. Have y'all ever heard of the invisible churches?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Okay, cool. We're gonna dive into it a little bit. Yeah. I didn't hear about it too also until really about a couple of weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? And the Lord put it in my spirit to bring these things out. You know, because these things were going on back in slavery. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
The invisible churches. The invisible churches taught a different message from the white-controlled churches and did not emphasize obedience to slave masters. Some slaves could not contact invisible churches, and others did not agree with an invisible church's message. But many slaves were comforted by the invisible church.
So in these invisible churches, these are churches that our people have built because what the slave master was doing, they was teaching them servants obey your master out of the Bible, right? But certain ones who could read, they could see clearly, hold up, this ain't right. Or you could even feel, hold up, this ain't right. You're gonna beat me down, sleep with my wife, destroy my children, sell my children, and we supposed to just obey you and be cool? That's why they had invisible churches saying like, hey, look, this ain't right. We're gonna pray to another God. Even though in these invisible churches, our people, they were still doing wickedness. They were still doing things that were not right by God, right? Which is why the Lord kept destroying us, right? We got
White American slaveholders passed slave codes that prohibited large gatherings of enslaved and free black people.
That's right. So it was illegal for right now. If us gather right here, this would have been illegal back in that day, right? But through the grace of the Most High, we're able to come out here today, right, and gather together.
Slaveholders experienced how slave religion ignited slave revolts among enslaved and free people, and some leaders of slave insurrections were black ministers or conjure doctors.
And they didn't want you to get together because they say, hey, look, they might try to revolt, they might try to have an uprising against us, right? And it said, go back to it, it said black ministers. Right here at the bottom.
Some leaders of slave insurrections were black ministers or conjure doctors.
It was some black ministers who had the Bible that were trying to plan revolts. See that? Because when they read the Bible, they saw it differently from what the so-called white man did. When you read the Bible, it's about redemption. It's about freeing the oppressed. Right. And that's what they saw with their own eyes. Right? In these invisible churches, they read the Bible for themselves instead of looking at the Bible through the lens of the so-called white man. Right?
The Code Noir in French colonial Louisiana.
And that's a French word for black, A.O.I, right? So those black clothes, so like black codes,
prohibited and made it illegal for enslaved Africans to practice their traditional religions.
So if we had the Bible up here in those times, right, it would have been illegal for us to tell you that you are God's chosen people. It would have been illegal for me to say, brother, you are a prince and a king on the earth, right? That would have been illegal. They would have said, no, wait a minute. God loves everybody. Jesus is white, right? Servants obey your master. We could not bring out any of these things because it was illegal for a black man to say that he was great, according to the Bible. Right?
Article 3 in Code Noir states, we forbid any public exercise of any religion other than Catholic.
Other than what?
Other than Catholic.
That means our people were whipped and beat down if they were taught any other thing or they learned any other thing than Catholicism. Right? That's why our people are nowadays in Christianity. Like it's like a the majority of people, probably about 80% of our people, right? They are in Christianity.
The Cold War and other slave laws resulted in enslaved and free African Americans to conduct their spiritual practices in invisible churches. Scholars also call invisible churches plantation churches because they started during the time of slavery on plantations.
Right, and it's going to say
Many of these churches were not in buildings, but in the woods, and were called brush harbors or hush harbors.
That's right. So that's the original name of these churches, hush harbors or brush harbors, because they didn't want the slave owners to know about it, right? So they had to keep it on the down low. They had to keep it quiet, right?
Because enslaved and free people had to hush or quiet their church services in nature. Enslaved people suffered punishments if they were caught in a hush harbor meeting. Slaveholders were confident that they would compare treatment, working conditions, and punishment, leaving them worried about revolts and riots.
That's right. And that's why they didn't want you to read and write. That's why they didn't want you to read and write. Because if you read the Bible during that time, you just coming fresh from over from where you were from. So there was still some history. Our people still kind of knew, had an idea of who they were, right? They say, you know what? We're going to teach them not to read and write, and we're going to erase their history. When they come over here, we're going to rename them. You seen the movie Roots before?
Yeah.
What did they name Kunta Kinte? Yes, sir. They renamed the Toby.
Matt Turner. He read the 149th Psalm and snapped. Killed all them white people. Because he read 101 scripture.
That's right.
Nat Turner.
That's right. Nat Turner. He y'all familiar with that brother, right?
Nat Turner?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
He was involved in one of the biggest slave revolts in America. Where he killed about 50 or 60 something so-called white people. Hey, babies, women, and men, right? He slaughtered them because he saw the misery that his people were going through. Now, we're not saying let's go be Nat Turner in this day. We know through the Spirit now that we got to wait on the Lord. We got to keep His commandments and have the faith. See, what the Lord wants us to learn right here in this captivity is that we got to depend on Him. See, we strong as hell, man, as a people. They can't take us, man. If I put one so-called white man against you, and then he had no other people against him, I already know you're gonna win. I know it. Brother, you're gonna win too. You know, they can't take us one-on-one. This is why they gotta have their guns. This is why they love the Second Amendment, right? They can't handle you without no weapons. That's why the Lord said in the last days, He gonna turn their swords or their weapons into pruning hooks, right? But according to the Bible, man, we the children of Israel, man. And let's keep reading this.
The Library of Congress had 23. That was all.
Okay, yes, sir. Let's read that Library of Congress.
The Library of Congress had 2,300 first-person accounts from former slaves in their digital archive.
That's right. So they had different interviews of slaves. This is how we know exactly what's going on. This is why you see certain movies written, and they can kind of pretty much tell you exactly what happened on the plantation. Because they had first accounts of people that went through that thing. And this was recorded in 1936 through 38. My grandmother, she was born in 1920. You see what I'm saying? Right. So my grandmother, she already had stories about what happened in slavery herself, you know? But these are actually accounts from people who was actually born on the plantation, you know? Right. You got?
From these collections, African Americans said that they had secret church meetings. For example, enslaved people created methods to decrease their noise when they had church. A former slave in Arkansas named John Hunter said the slaves went to a secret house only they knew and turned the iron pots face up, and their slaveholder could not hear them. Enslaved people also placed sticks under wash pots a foot from the ground to decrease their noise as the sound they made during their rituals went into the pots.
Did y'all pay attention to that? Y'all heard that? Hey, that's your first recording studio right there. They reduced the noise. They figured out how to drown that noise out and make all the noise go into those pots and pans. See that? This is how creative our people are. This is how innovative they are, right? This is why you have a book called Black Inventors of America that exposes all the things that our people created, right?
Oh, wow.
See that? We created, look.
I see that physically?
Yes, sir. We created the traffic light. We created the gas mask in World War I and II, right? And brother, there's a video on YouTube where a brother he tried to go one day without using a black invention and he couldn't do it. See that? Everything that he was running into, he ran into a black invention. Refrigerators, the refrigerator truck, the drip cup, in a factory that keeps oil moving throughout the engines. Right? First open heart surgery. The video games. See that? You couldn't play a video game without a so-called black man. You couldn't have a light bulb without Lewis Lattimore. You know.
Cure for COVID, black girl.
What was his name?
Lewis Lattimore.
ADT or your ring of blink
Louis the Lightning Bug.
I remember him.
I ain't never think about that. I remember it. Yeah.
What you say his name was?
Lewis Lattimore.
They cut on the commercial, the Lightning Bug name was Louis the Lightning. Talking about watch the power line.
That's messed up.
All praise. All praise. See, and they hide it in plain sight.
Right.
You know, everything. But this is how great our people are. But they'll teach you today that you didn't invent anything, that you always need the so-called white man for everything,
Right.
that you can't pull yourself up by your own bootstraps, that you just idiotic people. That's what they say to us, man. They say it either directly or indirectly, right? And they will always, throughout our entire life, for the rest of this, as long as this world is standing, try to teach you that you are nobody. If they teach you that you're a God-chosen people and you're special, hey, something's gonna wake up in your mind, something's gonna spark again in your mind and say, oh, you know what? Man, we are better than them. Damn, our physiques are better than them. Damn, we are a better people than them, according to the Bible. Our women do look better than them. Why is that? Hold up, God said that we're his chosen people. Hold up, the Lord said we would be special. Get that in Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6, Baba Kashaf.
Let's think about what they created right quick. Weapons, nuclear bomb, something to kill, steal, and destroy.
Right.
I'm out.
That's right. That's right.
That's all they
Hey,
create.
that's
That's
right.
all they create.
And let me
Nothing to
ask you,
help humanity.
come, all praise to the Lord. And going off what the brother said, what did the Bible say the devil came to do? What did you learn in church what the devil come to do?
Deceive.
That's right. They say in church, y'all probably heard this before, the devil comes to steal, to kill, and to destroy. What has the so-called white man done? Stole, killed, and he destroyed.
Everywhere you go.
You can't get around it. Even the word devil means to deceive. It's not a saying, okay, if we say this is a devil, we're not saying this is a red man with a pitchfork, right? No, we saying, hold up, this is a deceiver. That's why we say through the spirit and power of the Lord that the white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of.
All praise.
The Bible calls him the devil. That's right.
Come on.
And the Lord said, don't follow the ways of devils, right? And matter of fact, brother, get that in 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse number 20, Baba Kashaf. 1 Corinthians 10 and verse 20. And read this real quick, King.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
This is what the Lord said about the chosen people. Matter of fact, let's get the context. Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 1, right? And this is what the Christian church don't do. They don't read context. They just cherry pick scriptures out of the Bible and say God loves everybody. Because where did they learn that? Where were our people forced to learn that that's right. What we just read in that article, where were they forced to learn? What type of religion?
Christianity.
That's right, Christianity, Catholicism. They were forced to do that, and if they didn't do that, what would happen to them, King?
They get beat.
They would get beat. They get punished. No man wanted to see that man on the getting his back whooped in, right? Or getting their children taken away from them, or getting their children killed. So a lot of our people gave in to that. Now some of our people chose death, which is a righteous thing to do, right? When we want to follow the Most High God, we want to choose death over following the ways of the so-called white man. See that? So that's the type of mindset we got to be getting back into in the last days, right? Hey, because at the end of the day, matter of fact, I ain't gonna get into all that. All praise. Yes, sir.
10 and 1.
Yes, sir. 10 and 20. Read what you got, King.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Now read what you got, King.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1, verse 1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel.
So that's the context of the book of Deuteronomy. Moses is speaking to the Israelites. Right? Now go back to that again real quick. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, the whole thing. Okay.
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord.
The word holy means separate, right? Read.
Thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
They didn't teach you that in slavery. They said the Israelites, right? We just read the context. The Israelites, this is what the Lord saying to his people by the hand of Moses. The Lord chose you to be a holy people. He chose you to be a special people. He chose you to be separate people from the rest of the people of the earth. And not only that, he said what? Above all people?
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Not only that, he told us we're above every race that are upon the face of the earth. That's what he told the so-called black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Not by skin color, but because of your heritage and your bloodline of which you descend from. You are God's chosen people, and you are the best people that I created on the face of the earth.
That's right.
If I created different clay sculptures, right, and I made bowls for a living, right, the Lord basically saying you're the best bowl that I cultivated in my workshop. You know, you're the best bowl that I made out of all the bowls of the earth. I created this bowl, and I'm gonna put this bowl right here for everybody to see when they come in my house. You see that?
Right.
Now all the other bowls, they're gonna go in the pantry closet, right? They're gonna go up under the cabinet. But this bowl, I'm gonna leave it out for decoration because I like this bowl right here that I made. This is my favorite one that I made right here, out of all the ones. And if you're an artist, right, you get to choose what is your favorite thing that you have out of all your creations, right? That's how the Lord chose us, right?
Right.
Read what you got. Read what you got, King.
All praise. All praise. I like this too, by the way.
All
All praise. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 20. But I say that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to devils.
So the Gentiles, these are the other nations, right? And there's a lot to understand when it comes to the Gentiles. Sometimes Gentiles means the people, like we read earlier, right? It was illegal for our people to say who they were. So if they didn't call themselves Israelites, what would they call themselves? If the heathen, the other nations, are Gentiles, right, and they are not God's chosen people, and in slavery, it was illegal for us to call ourselves an Israelite. What will we call ourselves?
I don't know.
Let's read that again.
But I say that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice.
So we would call ourselves a Gentile.
Gentiles.
They taught us that we were Gentiles. That you're not God's chosen people. You're just a Gentile. You're matter of fact, they'll say something like you're the sons of Ham. You're the sons of Japheth or something like that. They won't tell you that you're chosen. But this Gentile right here, in this instance, is talking about the other races of people, the other nationalities of people. Read.
They sacrifice to devils.
They do what?
They sacrifice to devils.
So the Gentiles, they sacrifice the devil. It's a reason why they do that, right? Because they don't have a God and they know that. You ask any Gentile on the earth, are they Gentiles? They'll say, yeah, according to the Bible. They know they're not the chosen people. Right. They know it for a fact. So if they don't have a God and God did not choose them, right, to be his chosen people, the Lord said, don't even worship me. Salaki, let me take that back. The Lord said, don't even have my precepts in your mouth, meaning my Bible in your mouth. If they're not even supposed to read the Bible, right, then I forgot where I was going to go. Read that again.
But I say that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to devils and not to God. And I would not that ye should have fellowship with devils.
With what?
With devils.
So the Lord said these, that's what I was doing. The Gentiles, they sacrifice the devils. Meaning they're going to celebrate, they're going to celebrate Christmas, They're gonna celebrate Halloween. They're gonna celebrate what you call that, Valentine's Day. Can either one of you brothers tell me where these holidays that we celebrate today come from? And are they written in the Bible for us to celebrate?
I don't think so.
Then where do they come from? See that? Where do they come from? Just read earlier, if we didn't do things or celebrate their religions or worship their religions, what would happen to you? What would happen if you didn't celebrate Christmas? What would happen if you didn't keep Thanksgiving? What would happen if you didn't keep Valentine's Day? See that? Or Halloween? You get punished. Now, why do we celebrate those things to this day? Why do our so-called black families go over and say Happy Memorial Day, Happy Thanksgiving, Happy 4th of July? Think about it.
Victory over the nations. That's
right.
what 4th of July is.
Bring
Kicking
it out,
all
man.
our behinds and conquering the nations.
Sir.
That's what they celebrate. And y'all popping firecrackers to that.
But see, what y'all have to know, is when they were getting their 4th of July, is they were getting their independence.
Boom.
Great Britain, right? They celebrate their independence. It's a celebration for them. But in the midst of them celebrating, they still had our people enslaved.
Slavery.
So now we celebrate their independence. We shouldn't celebrate their independence. We shouldn't want them to have their own independence. And also,
We ain't got ours.
Celebrating their Christmas holiday, and I always like to bring out the fact that back when we was in slavery, you could have been a Christmas gift to another white person. Your son or your daughter could have been a Christmas gift to somebody else.
Right.
All white people didn't have money to afford slaves back then.
Right.
A lot of them did, but all of them didn't. So it's like you a big time white man with money, Christmas time rolling up. Your brother might not have that much money. He don't got no slave. Your brother might buy you a slave for Christmas on the 25th. Merry Christmas. That's this book right here. I got.
Right.
Going off what the brother was saying, all praise for bringing that thing up. That's where the word of the term jingle bells come from. They had a yoke of iron around our people's neck, like to run away, to try to get away from the plantation. They put yokes of iron around their neck and they had bells on them. So you could hear these certain bells when they would try to get away. Right? But
Jingle bell.
that's right. That's where they get that from. Well, you look, hey, you think we're playing, brother?
It's
You look these
serious.
things
It's
up, brother?
sick, man,
Hey,
but that's what they did.
That's exactly where it come from. See what I'm saying? These things are hidden in plain sight. We just don't seek them
There
out.
you go.
Right? Because we've been taught not to read and write, you know, and not to seek out our own heritage. Guns on there? Let's see.
There he go in the middle with the bells.
Okay.
Right there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know where the term whistle while you work came from?
No, I don't. Oh.
Slavery.
Gun.
Women cooking in the kitchen. Slave masters, they dared them. They couldn't eat nothing. They couldn't put nothing in their mouth. So all of them had to whistle. That's way, if that rhythm changed, if that tone changed, somebody eat. He's sitting on the porch drinking iced tea. He listening to them whistles. If anybody stop, if anybody stutter, they got food in their mouth. Finna punish the whole kitchen. Whistle while you work. And they ain't put nothing in their mouth. Our sisters. That's where that term come from. That's how brutal they was to us, man.
Right.
Because we could cook. We black. They didn't want us to touch it. We couldn't taste off their spoon. But we cook good food. So I tell you what, all y'all whistle don't stop. You got to work and whistle for what? 8 hours?
All praise to the Lord for that. And honestly, I never heard of that, but it make perfect sense, and I'm gonna look that up.
That's where that term come from.
Hey, all
Look
praise
it
to
up.
the Lord, man. Because we all heard that saying. Even the saying, I'm working like a Hebrew slave.
I've heard that.
That's the old one.
I've heard that a lot.
It's
Yeah.
true.
You probably heard that said to you before,
Yeah.
and not knowing you a Hebrew slave. right now in this present day.
And we used to pick at each other, calling
that?
each other that when we were little.
Mhm.
Black Hebrew slave, you
slave.
are.
Technically. Yeah.
Ignorance, man. Ignorance.
Mr. Hurd was a very mean master and was not liked by any one of his slaves.
So this is Sister Avery. She was on a plantation in Georgia, right? She's giving an account of what happened on the plantation. All right.
Secretly, each one hated him. He whipped unmercifully, and it was in most cases unnecessarily.
So they whipped us for unnecessary things. Like the brother said, if you didn't whistle while you worked, you getting whipped. If you drop a cup for the
Break
master,
an egg.
if you break an
You
egg,
saw Django.
that's right. You might leave a L shag in the eggs. He might whip you for that. You know what I'm saying? Those type of little minuscule things they used to whip us for. Why? Because they hate us and we're God's chosen people. That's why they truly hate us. It wasn't because of our skin color. It's because they know they know for a fact that we are the God's chosen people. We just don't know that.
Perpetual.
That's right. Read what you got.
He whipped unmercifully, and it was in most cases unnecessarily. However, he sometimes found it hard to subdue some slaves who happened to have very high tempers.
So some slaves, he couldn't subdue them because they weren't hearing that shit, right? They was like, you know what, hell no, I'm not doing that. Just like you got some brothers today, they say, I wouldn't be doing that back in slavery. They might be telling the truth, you know? They might say, some of them might be telling the truth, some of them might be lying. But some of them brothers out here that's saying that to this day, they probably was those same people in that same time saying that same thing. I'm not doing that shit, right? So let me show you what happened to these brothers on this particular plantation.
However, he sometimes found it hard to subdue some slaves who had very high temper. In this event, this was the case. He would set a pack of hounds on him.
He did what?
He set a pack of hounds on him.
So that's why the Lord said we would be, matter of fact, Deuteronomy 28 and verse, it might be around about 27, where the Lord said the beasts of the field, I think. And so if he had, you know how they call them YNs now?
Yeah.
Right? And the young bucks who don't want to listen, right? Or the men who are masculine men who don't want to listen, that's what they would do to our people. They would sick dogs and hounds on us, right? They would, matter of fact, sometimes they'll take one man and make an example out of him, destroy him in front of everybody. There's accounts where they would take our men, tie both of their legs up to two separate horses, right? And then hit the horses on the ass and they would flee out both ways and rip the man in half, right? Those are accounts that our people had to go through. Matter of fact, the Levi pants.
Quarter. It's called drawn and quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? It's on the Levi patch.
That's right. Bring that out, kid.
It's on your Levi jeans patch. Two horses and a man in the middle.
hey, brother, if you can, brother, hey, pull that image up for me, King. Baba Kashak. Pull that image up for me.
I don't
King.
have my phone. I leave
Yes,
it in
sir.
the truck.
I think it might be down here a little bit more. Let's see. Okay, there you go, right there.
Oh,
26.
cool.
Yes, sir.
All right. 28, Deuteronomy 28, verse 26.
So this is one of the curses that the Lord said would happen if we didn't keep His word.
Okay. Still on that student. Well, come on here.
Hey, sister, come bring the kids over here and learn something real quick.
Oh, I
Right.
teach them all the time. baby.
We got to teach them who they are.
Okay, thank
Right?
you.
We the children of Israel, sister. We got to come back to the Lord. Hey, and this is a young king that you got right here. Okay? This is a young king, and he got to understand that he's an Israelite according to the Bible.
That's right.
Hey, remember that, king. Right? Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 26.
Uh-huh.
And thy carcass shall be meat unto all fowls of the air.
So the Lord said our carcass would be meat unto all the fowls of the air. Think about it. When we were hanging on the trees and nobody pulled our bodies down, what type of flying fowl eat dead bodies or dead carcasses?
I know this one.
You seen certain fowl in the air circling around before they land down and scoop their food or their prey? Think about it.
Not an eagle, is it?
No, not an eagle. Think about this. Y'all seen the Lion King before, right? right?
Yeah.
When Simba went off and ran off because Scar ran him off, and he ran out into the desert, into the wilderness, he was laying down, right, looking like he was dead. What type of birds were trying to come down and get him? Of course, Timon and Pumbaa came and sprayed the birds away.
I know this. I can't think of it.
See that, like different a vulture, right?
Yeah,
Vultures,
yeah.
crows, all kind of different animals. You see crows eating dead squirrels and stuff on the side of the road.
We call them buzzards.
buzzards.
Right, yeah, I heard that.
But the Lord said these fowl would do what?
The Lord shall cause thee. Oh, my bad.
Yes, sir. Verse
Here's
26.
verse 26. And thy carcass shall be meat unto all fowls of the air.
So one of the curses was for us disobeying God, our carcass would be meat unto the fowls of the air. So if we hanging in those trees and they didn't pull our bodies down, what would be eating our bodies? On those trees. Vultures, crows, right? Insects, all kind of different things, right? It get graphic, you know? But these are the things that the Lord said would happen to our people for disobeying his commandments, right? But now the Lord is allowing us to understand who we are and come back and have a chance of repentance. So these things won't have to happen no more. Because we are literally connected with the Most High, right? Over all the people of the earth. But that's why the Lord say, I'm going to punish you if you don't keep my commandments. If you don't do what I say to do. You in particular, you're going to be punished because you are my children. I didn't choose anybody else. I chose you. Read.
And unto the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away.
And the beast of the earth, and no man shall fray them away. Think about it. He just said, I'm going to sick dogs upon you, right? Certain brothers up here had dreams of dogs chasing them, right? Eating them all in the private area, you know? All kind of different things like that.
Oh,
You know?
Them on Django.
Though I was just gonna go to Mr. Stone's site.
Bring it up.
Right.
He told him, turn him loose. You saw him eat the black man with all them big old dogs. Same, they did that for
That
real,
happened
bro.
right here in Birmingham as well.
It sure did.
Civil rights area.
Sure
When
did.
they sick the dogs on the civil rights
Yeah.
And men and women.
bit the breast off of women.
Yeah,
Right.
right here in Birmingham. What was his name?
down
Bull
here.
O'Connor.
It went only here, but this is one of the main cities they think of when you speak of civil rights.
Cause we fought back.
You got a statue over there at what park that is? Kelly England.
Kelly Park. We fought back though. That's why we known so much. We fought.
Oh, it went down in Birmingham.
Yeah, we fought. That's
It
why
went
we
down.
known as Birmingham.
Uh-huh.
They blew up the church. Killed the 2 girls.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, we fought.
That was right down the street.
Right.
Yeah.
16th Street Baptist Church.
That's a good point, King. They called it Birmingham. And
Birmingham.
That's actually in the Civil Rights Museum. Because not only did they blow up the church, they blew up certain people's houses too. Certain leaders who came down here, they blew them up. What was that? Reverend, who's the
I know
owner
who
of the
you're talking
Apple?
about.
Shuttlesworth?
Shuttlesworth.
They
He
blew
was
up
a bad
Shuttlesworth
boy.
house.
Martin Luther King got a lot of credit, but Fred Shuttleworth was I'm talking about he was a bad boy, real back in the day. Look him up. Look at his history, what he did. He was willing to lay his life down. He fought.
Man.
That's why Fred Shuttleworth Airport.
Right.
He fought, man. He really did. He was out here on the street with everybody in the grind. He wasn't up in the office. Real talk.
Right.
Yes. What you gonna do? We waking up and the joke's on you. What you gonna do? We standing up and the curse is on you. Curses on you. We're the Israelites by blood, it's in our spirit too. For all the tribes scattered worldwide.